Day 2 of the NFL Draft in the beautiful Music City. Good afternoon, I'm Tara Thomas. This year's draft is already historic for many prospects, including some from right here in Mississippi. Witnesses who live there on Ellis say they saw a man shoot his girlfriend multiple times on the street, just moments after hugging her. You're hearing the sound of a woman's heart breaking, learning that her mother has been killed. Just in front of the ruptured gas line here, it's literally just a few yards behind me. We're not allowed to get much closer than this. I don't think I want to either. It's pretty scary. You can hear the natural gas escaping the line. It's quite loud. There's also a very strong odor. Empathy for one another. It's different from sympathy in that one can experience the feelings, thoughts, or attitude of another. And it's exactly what's earned one Jackson teacher statewide recognition, her ability to sow this invaluable trait into the hearts of her students. The standoff here on Ducksworth took over 4 hours. We're told that 50 to 75 officers were here at the scene from different agencies, and the standoff finally came to an end when they brought in the big guns, an armored truck that took the walls clean off of this trailer home. Severe weather is a fact of life come springtime, especially here in the South. Good evening, I'm Tara Thomas. Last Thursday, we saw at least 40 tornadoes touch down in one day. Katie Rowe joins us in the studio with what causes these dangerous storms and what's changed since the last historic outbreak. I tried to speak with staff and the director today for answers prior to the mass euthanization, but I was met with shades being drawn and a door being locked as I arrived. Deputies have detained a man that they're calling a person of interest. He's here at the White County Detention Center, and as of Wednesday afternoon, they're still just questioning him, trying to determine if he is the carjacker, and they're waiting for the victim to come in and positively ID him. It genuinely feels like we are at a graveyard here in these people's front yard. My goodness. If this coffin thing isn't scary, I don't know what is. We are here in Madison at the police department, where officers have just returned from about a half-hour-long high-speed chase on the 55 North, which ended with the suspect crashing into a woman's car. Hundreds of people at 2 California universities are quarantined as health officials try to avoid a possible measles outbreak. UCLA and California State University issued the orders after 2 confirmed cases. Nichelle Medina has the latest.
Hoping you all enjoyed the commercials tonight and, of course, the game. Reporting from Ridgeland, I'm Tara Thomas, WJTV 12.
WJTV 12's Tara Thomas went to the scene and has more from the newsroom. Tara?
That's right. The gas rupture happened just before 5 p.m. today alongside Highway 49. And crews are still out there working to fix the line and stop the highly explosive gas that's billowing through the air. The Richland Fire Department and police are taking the matter very seriously and evacuating nearby people from their home.
So what we do is we just evacuate downwind from it, which it's a house right behind them. No one's home in that house at this time, but we pretty much just stay back to try to keep it from finding an ignition source.
The chief says such ignitions are rare, but any amount of open flame in the area could be deadly.
It'd be a Roman candle there until they got the gas shut off, so it's a potential danger. So we're here just to keep anything from happening.
I'm standing just in front of the ruptured gas line here. It's literally just a few yards behind me. We're not allowed to get much closer than this. I don't think I want to either. It's pretty scary. You can hear the natural gas escaping the line. It's quite loud. There's also a very strong odor of the natural gas. It is scary. We're told construction crews accidentally hit the line earlier today, causing the rupture. Police have shut down one lane of the northbound 49 near Barnett's Body Shop, but traffic seems to be flowing smoothly. It is looking like the energy company will be working there through the night to get it fixed. Back to you.
It has been said, a good teacher explains, a great teacher inspires. WJTV's Tara Thomas introduces us to one great teacher who's giving students a lesson that will last a lifetime.
Empathy for one another. It's different from sympathy in that one can experience the feelings, thoughts, or attitude of another. And it's exactly what's earned one Jackson teacher statewide recognition, her ability to sow this invaluable trait into the hearts of her students. Meet Malika Quarterman. She teaches theater at Power APAC, but her lessons go much deeper than performing arts.
It's such a short. Biggest hope is that students will walk away with the ability to exercise empathy and to learn how to create instead of just to be destructive.
Her students' productions tell controversial stories, from the classic Arthur Miller's The Crucible to the more recent The Laramie Project, the story of Matthew Shepard, a young gay man tortured and left for dead.
That shocked the nation, really, because we weren't talking about the LGBTQ plus community at that time. 20 years ago, nobody wanted to hear that a person was being targeted because of their sexuality.
Her objective, to open such discussions among students, to explore their own values and impacts on society.
Theater, the appropriate medium to talk about issues like this, and will it be effective? And I think we can see now with a theater troupe from Jackson, Mississippi, doing his show, their show, and it impacting high school students and adults in the community alike. You can see that it was an appropriate medium to honor Matthew Shepard.
The Laramie Project won a state championship. Quarterman's work has earned her the honor Performing Arts Teacher of the Year in Mississippi.
So it really took me back. I was very surprised, but then my students were the ones that told me, well, you're worthy of this. You impact us every day in different ways, and it showed through on their recommendation letters and the speeches they did afterwards. And I think they might be more proud of me than I am.
Awards aside, she said her top honor is seeing her students learn a better acceptance of others. And as she watches them grow, they're less into themselves and more involved in giving back to the community, with things like activism and volunteering in soup kitchens. Quarterman says she's also learning her own lessons, including balancing career and family. And her message to other women trying to do the same is, forgive yourselves often. Be kinder to yourself in your quest for perfection.
Because we are now doing so much, I think it's so important for us to be kinder to ourselves and to each other, to forgive ourselves more frequently and more fully, to allow for mistakes. And I think that we can decide to hold ourselves to excellence, whether it's in our household, in our relationships, in our careers, but realize that there's a difference between excellence and perfection.
In Jackson, Tara Thomas, WJTV 12.
Retreat. Sit. That's cheating.
The little dog that nobody wanted, who had given up hope and was left alone to suffer, living in a wet, freezing mattress, is now the dog that over 300 families are asking to adopt. It was just 40 degrees out and raining on Thanksgiving when Pulaski County Sheriff's Deputy Terry Nichols responded to a call of a dog who looked to be suffering.
He was in pretty bad condition, just real bad mange and some cuts and swollen feet, being hungry. And
the dog, who's now named Blue, was reunited today with the deputy who came to his rescue that cold and quiet morning on Arch Street.
he looks so much better than, just like a week ago.
Blue is being treated still at Chenal Valley Animal Hospital and is in the custody of Southern Hearts Kennel and Rescue.
He has Demodex mange. He is heartworm negative, thank God for that. But he has a lot of recovery time ahead of him.
Rescue Director Whitney Morrison, who responds to animals in trouble throughout Arkansas, says Blue's heartbreaking story is all too common.
It makes me feel angry. Angry that we have to find them like this, angry that they're left and dumped like this, that there's not enough people out there like us who help.
Southern Hearts Rescue is now faced with reviewing over 300 applicants to select the best and loving home for Blue. In Little Rock, I'm Tara Thomas.
Did I hear them say a free concert with Tim McGraw?
You did. I think that's why there's so many people down there, because it's not just for football. The live concerts, that'd bring people like you down, who's maybe not necessarily a big football fan, but you'd go for that, I'm
Not
sure.
a huge fan, but when it's McGraw, that changes everything, yeah. Now to the court fight over Mississippi's controversial abortion law. Reproductive rights attorney filed court papers calling the so-called
fetal heartbeat law unconstitutional. The law bans most abortions at about 6 weeks of pregnancy. Opponents say it will make abortion, quote, virtually unavailable in Mississippi. Governor Bryant signed the heartbeat bill into law last month. It is one of the strictest anti-abortion laws in the country. Hundreds of people at 2 California universities are quarantined as health officials try to avoid a possible measles outbreak. UCLA and California State University issued the orders after 2 confirmed cases. Nichelle Medina has the latest. And due to possible measles exposure in Hattiesburg, the Department of Health officials are urging anyone who visited Turtle Creek Mall food court, the Subway restaurant inside of the Circle K gas station, and the Raising Cane's to be wary of this disease. If you suspect you have the virus, consult with your healthcare provider. Now, here's a look at what's coming up at 6 tonight. Allergy season. It's one of the most dreaded times of the year. And if the sniffles and sneezes are getting you down, you don't have to worry for long. Tonight at 6, we're tracking the best ways to deal with those symptoms. And the suspect from a fatal weekend hit and run has surrendered to Jackson police. 32-year-old Guy Wright is charged with felony leaving the scene of an accident. Wright is responsible for a fatal collision that happened early Saturday morning on I-55 east of Frontage Road near Briarwood Drive. A 21-year-old male died from that crash. It's almost time for us to take a break, but first, here's a look at over Trustmark Park. The Pearl Day Festival is taking place there this weekend. Let's take a look at weather with Ken South.